Hey everyone, I'm the Doc Bob Lee from 107.5 WPLS, and you are watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx, New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, our first guest is the Director of Staff of the United Federation of Teachers, for short, UFT. And he's here to speak about the possible school and classroom shutdown taking place in our city as a result of the most recent COVID strain. We please welcome to the show, Anthony Harmon. Anthony, welcome.
Thanks so much, Dr. Bob Lee, for all that you do to helping to keep the community informed. So I'm here to talk about, the United Federation of Teachers and, what our response has been to some of the recent challenges in terms of getting our kids back in school. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, well, we welcome you, and you're always welcome to come by. But the possible school and classroom shutdowns taking place in New York City? Talk about.
So one of the things that we've been really, really adamant about from the United Federation of Teachers is that, we want all our kids back in school, right? But we also want them back in school learning, but also in safe environments, not only our students, but our staff, that work in these buildings as well. We want to do everything that we possibly can to ensure that their safety. So what we've started and what we've done like over the course of the summer and meeting with the Department of Education was trying to come up with some ideas and some protocols that will be in place should these school closures or these classrooms need to be closed. I will tell you to date, there's been one total school closure, but there's been several hundred classroom closures. And I say several hundred, and I'm estimating somewhere between 600 and 700 individual classrooms that have closed. More so out of an abundance of caution, right? We don't want to take any chances. So once a case was confirmed positive, a school may shut down a classroom. And then at that point, those particular kids would be on remote settings for up to like 10 days, We've negotiated with the Department of Education opportunities for teachers to upload lessons so that there will be no learning loss during the course of these 10 days, so the students would be able to get online and they will still be able to participate, and there will be constant learning taking place. So
any recommendations out there about going back to hybrid, some of the youngsters learning from home and some going upon finding out that these classrooms or schools have to be shut down?
So one of the things that we've talked about, and we negotiated again over the summertime, we were meeting with the Department of Education at the CSA and the DOE and the UFT at least once a week. So we tried to put some safeguards in place so that our students that are returning to school, we needed to assess where they were academically. There was some learning loss, and some kids have not been in school in the past 18 months. So we needed to check and do a temperature check in terms of where kids were academically. So we're looking to have those measures in place by the end of October. But coupled with that, we also recognize that there's some social and emotional learning that needs to happen or needs to take place. And some of these kids, they've experienced trauma, over the course of these 18 months. Some of them may have, had family members that might have passed away, or some of them might have experienced, in their immediate households, the suffering caused by this pandemic. So we're looking to do some social and emotional assessments of our young people as well. We're providing every possible resource that we can from here, from the UFT, to our parents, to our students, to our community, be it our Dollar Teacher Homework Hotline, where kids can constantly get help with homework. We're looking to launch that on Monday, and again, it's the cost of a phone call with kids getting the resources that they need. But we also have
to get involved with that, because that's important. And I remember you initiated that program a while ago, the Homework Helper Hotline.
Absolutely. And again, it's the cost of a phone call, right? So your parents, students can call our hotline. The telephone number is 212-777-3380. Again, that's 212-777-3380. We're open Monday through Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. And we offer homework assistance in 9 different languages.
That's fantastic. So you are prepared to go hybrid if we have to.
We're making every possible precaution, every possible step in terms of, if it has to go that way, I think we're a little bit more prepared than we were last year when we were thrust into this situation. Bob, I just also want to tell you that how proud I was when I was driving through neighborhoods in Brooklyn and seeing opening day of school, teachers that had come out and they had balloons and DJs and red carpets for the kids, welcoming them back into our school and learning environments.
Yeah,
I made my heart glad as I was seeing dads taking their little kids to school with their backpacks, and some of them entering school, Bob, for the first time. If they were kindergartner last year, they missed a whole year of of that social interaction.
Yeah,
So
that's important. That's important. Social interaction is very, very important.
Absolutely. So it made my heart glad when I saw, those parents taking those kids back into the buildings, and those teachers standing outside and welcoming the kids, and the DJs and some of them teachers dressed up like superheroes, and it was just a good feeling, because we want our kids back, back in school, and we all realize that, while some kids will excel in terms of the virtual world, we realize that most kids, they need that interaction.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm glad that UFT is right there every step of the way, not only helping teachers, but helping parents and students and the administration keep everything in sync. And
Absolutely.
we pray for all the things that you guys are doing at UFT.
Yeah, and when we started this year, initially the mayor and the city wanted schools to be tested, every other week, in particular elementary schools. But we, didn't agree with that. And we, started some really intense negotiations. So now schools will be tested every week. Every week schools will be tested, which makes the parents, happy about that. But again, we're trying to do everything that we can to make sure that our students are learning in a safe environment and our staff is working in a safe environment. While I will tell you that over the summertime, we visited every summer school site in the city of New York, and just to check that they have the PPEs in place. So there's masks in the schools. Yeah. There's sanitizer stations in the schools. The ventilators in the schools, right? They even purchased some big industrial type ventilators in some of the schools. What we do see as a challenge, and quite honestly, in schools that have these 4,000 student populations, it's impossible for them to social distance, with 3 feet. So we're constantly pushing the Department of Education and the city to come up with a plan. I don't know if you saw some of the things on social media, these big high schools like, Brooklyn Tech High School, and, they got like 4,000 kids, or some of the high schools out in Queens where the population. So we're pushing the board and the Department of Education that they have to come up with a plan to deal with that. I don't know what it could be, maybe split sessions, but something needs to happen, because it's like way too many students, and it's impossible to do the 3 feet social distancing.
Exactly, especially in a school setting.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for coming on and sharing all of this information with us. I know we need like a whole day to be talking about some of the things that you guys are doing and some of the plans that you guys have, at UFT have initiated. Where can we go for more information? Is there a website?
So you can always go to the UFT website, which is www.uft.org, www.uft.org. There you'll find a bunch of information where we're hosting parent conferences, borough-specific parent conferences to address the needs of our parents in given communities. You'll find information about our homework assistance hotline. You'll find information about our anti-bullying hotline, which we've had to make some adjustments to, because we found that there were kids that were, suffering from isolation, right? They haven't had their prom, they haven't had their senior trip, they haven't had those things that make school and help to create that whole child. Kids and schools were lacking. So our anti-bullying hotline are addressing those needs and those concerns. But all that information can be found on our website, www.uft.org.
Anthony Harmon, Director of Staff for the United Federation of Teachers. Thank you for all you guys are doing. We appreciate you, and you're always welcome back.
Thanks so much, Bob, and I appreciate all that you do to keep our community informed.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a break right here. I've got more on Open coming up next.